this is an update on the Gene Hackman story. This is, I didn't want to just forget it and drop it. That's what most news people do. They mention a story, then they never follow up. Well, I try and follow up when I can. When I get other information, I certainly try to. So, okay, this is the Gene Hackman follow-up, and it is pretty interesting. Some very interesting details, and all it does is connect some dots. Doesn't, to me, look to be anything other than, unfortunately, a very sad but completely natural type of situation. Here's what happened. Gene Hackman succumbed to advanced Alzheimer's and cardiovascular disease after living for about a week with the decomposing body of his dead wife, Betsy, who died from a rare rat-borne disease. So stay with me here. This is a little odd, but this is what it says. In a horrific twist, autopsies revealed that Betsy, 65, died from hantavirus pulmonary syndrome on February 11th. Hackman, 95, died about 7 days later around February 18th, which I think we mentioned that it was the 17th was the day that his pacemaker had stopped recording data. So this says around February 18th is when he died, before the couple's mummified remains were found in separate rooms of their $3.8 million Santa Fe home on February 26th. Dr. Heather Jarrell, chief medical investigator for the state of New Mexico, said their deaths had both been ruled as natural and that no signs of internal or external trauma were found. Their dog, Xenia, who was found dead near Betsy, the wife, was picked up from a veterinary hospital on February 9th after undergoing a procedure which may explain why it was found in a kennel, according to authorities. Some people were saying it was in a closet. Other people said it was in a kennel. So anyway, that kind of explains why the dog was in its kennel if it had a surgical procedure. When questioned by reporters, Jarrell also said that it was likely that Hackman didn't even realize that his wife had died due to his advanced Alzheimer's. Betsy, his wife, is said to have died first on February 11th due to her infection, which initially presents with flu-like symptoms. Again, it's called hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. Presents with flu-like symptoms. The CDC source told Daily Mail that while the couple's main home did not show any signs of rodent activity, some of the property's outbuildings, including a garage and 2 casitas, had rodent droppings and other evidence of rodent activity. So they had a rat infestation. Hantavirus is typically reported in spring and summer, often due to exposures that occur when people are near mouse droppings in homes, sheds, or poorly ventilated areas. While hantavirus is found throughout the world, in most cases in the U.S. have been found in western states. The virus can cause a severe and sometimes deadly lung infection. Sometimes can include coughing, shortness of breath, and tightness in the chest. The mortality of the hantavirus strain in the southwest of the U.S. is about 38 to 50%. It's non-transmissible from person to person. So how about that? Jarrell said that there was no reliable method to get an exact time for death, but that Hackman probably died around February 18th. In full timeline of events, officials said that Betsy had picked up their dog from a vet hospital after the dog underwent treatment on February 9th. On February 11th, they said she had an email conversation with her massage therapist before later in the afternoon going to a farmer's market. She was caught on a CVS surveillance footage camera shortly after the market, before then going to a local pet food store. Her car was seen on surveillance entering the gated community at 5:15 on February 11th, which is the day that she died. And then it says officials said that numerous emails went unopened on February 11th, and that there was no further communication from her account after that day. So she must have went home and then just died right after that, I guess. Detectives are still waiting to retrieve her full cell phone data, said her last known activity was February 11th. Officials also said that Xenia, the dog, had been found inside in a crate in the residence and was likely put in after her treatment. So she had the operation, they put her in the crate, and then the woman went in the other room and died. So Hackman was discovered lying on the ground of a mudroom just off the kitchen with his sunglasses and cane nearby, indicating he may have fallen. Then the same Lady Jarrell said that there was no food inside Hackman and there was no sign of dehydration. He showed evidence of advanced Alzheimer's disease. He was in a very poor state of health. He had significant heart disease, and I think ultimately that's what resulted in his death. So there you go. And there's more details here, but I just thought that was very interesting and good to have a little bit more information as to what happened. Just because the whole thing seems so fishy to begin with. Anyway, yeah. Susan says, "Oh wow, thanks for the confirmation. I believed it was a form of hemorrhagic fever, but not sure where I learned that. Could be. Was she South Korean? From what I saw, she was Hawaiian." And she was a concert pianist, and they met at some point. The cage dog would have barked like crazy, and no one heard. Very bizarre and sad story. Yeah, but maybe not if the dog was, had just had surgery and on some sort of painkillers or drugs or something. Who knows? So, anyway, that's the Gene Hackman follow-up. Just wanted to mention that.